Morning or good afternoon or good evening, wherever you are. This is Women of the Midwest. My name is Anne Fulby Olsen. I'm the founder of this wonderful travel concept. And what we've been doing lately is recording our tours so that you can get a better taste and idea of what we are doing. So today we are going to walk you through our wonderful England Castles and Gardens trip. It's in July 23rd to August 3rd this year, 2024. And with me today, I have Julie Chandler. She's our tour guide. In England, we've been working with Julie for several years. We have one of the best tour guides, I dare to say, in the entire UK, not just in England. So Julie, thank you for joining and for being with us today and helping me give some flavor to this wonderful, wonderful tour. I used to say where there is a will, there is a way. There is a big will with Women of the Midwest of creating tours and doing the most wonderful trips around the globe. But if we don't have the tour guide with us, nothing is going to happen. So where there is a Julia Chandler, there's a way. So Julie, if you would like to just introduce yourself, and then we'll get into the presentation of what are we actually doing in England here in July and August.
Okay, so yes, I'm delighted to be here and talk about this. England is so well known for its castles and its gardens. I mean, the English, we're just mad about gardens. And Anne and I met up, last year to have a chat about could we do a tour on castles and gardens, and we were just awash with ideas of where to go and what to see. And it was just so hard trying to really nail this down to some fabulous castles and some beautiful gardens, because there's just so many. But I think we've got a wonderful, wonderful selection on this tour of places. You can see us here. We were poring over maps to deciding how much could we fit in a day and where could we go and what would work and which gardens would be looking their absolute best in July. And we've got some fabulous ones to show you.
We do. And Julie, I see a glass of water here on the table. We were very serious that day.
We were.
Tea plays a big role, and cake, of course, in your life and my life, right?
Oh,
But also
yes.
a D&T, a gin and tonic sometimes is a good little spice up the day or the afternoon. We love that too. But this day we were very serious and we were nailing down all the sites that we're going to see on this trip. So let's just jump into the map. We love to show you where you're going. And Julie, we're starting in London and ending in London. Then we're gonna go travel west into the villages and swing around down to the south and come back to London. Anything you want to point out here on the map, especially?
We're doing a great tour round of sort of through to the middle, some wonderful places like Oxford and Bath and Windsor Castle, and then down to some perhaps lesser known places, but equally fabulous, to be fair, when we get down towards the south coast of England with some amazing gardens and down into Kent. And Kent, of course, is known as the Garden of England. It's one of our counties and it is the Garden of England. And that's where we'll be basically finishing the tour, in the Garden of England. And trust me, it really is a beautiful place.
Wonderful. All right. Day one, we're not going to go over the day-by-day itinerary. It will just be a way too long presentation, and we've got to keep some surprises for you when you travel over to meet Julie and to see England. But the day one is July 23rd, and we're traveling from the United States to London. We have air available from any city in the United States. I want to point that out. You don't need to leave from Omaha, where our ambassador will be leaving from. But we have a great connection. We have an early afternoon flight with a stop in Charlotte and then directly into London, where we are arriving the following morning at 9 a.m. And then that's where we're going to start the tour. So Julie, the following slides are kind of just highlights of what are we doing in the various places we're visiting. So I'm going to leave that over to you. You can explain that much better than I can, even though I've been to England many, many, many times, and London too. But you are the specialist here. So what are we doing in London?
Okay, so London, we have some fabulous days in London, and I am a Londoner born and bred. So I am delighted to be able to show off my city to you. You know, the iconic sights of London, from the red post boxes on the streets to the red buses travelling round to the black taxis. Westminster Abbey, where we hold our coronations and royal funerals. I mean, sadly, we all witnessed a royal funeral in 2022, but last year we had the joy of a coronation. The Houses of Parliament with Big Ben, the wonderful clock that bongs. And of course, the Tower of London, London's mighty fortress. Founded in the 11th century by King William I, or William the Conqueror, as we like to call him, where you will meet the Beefeaters, as they are commonly known, or the Yeoman Warders, to give them their original title, their proper title. And who doesn't want to visit an 11th century castle? And although I've lived here all my life, I still get blown away by the fact that we're a huge international metropolis in London, but we have an 11th century castle literally bang smack in the middle. And it's just an amazing sight. It's what you think of when you see those Hollywood movies. It's what a castle should look like. And believe me, it doesn't disappoint. It has wonderful stories of, I have to say, prisoners, torture and execution. But hey, we all love a bit of blood and guts now and again, don't
Sure we
we?
do.
But it also has the crown jewels. And for anyone, and I'm sure most of you ladies will have been like me, glued to the television set last year for the coronation in Westminster Abbey of King Charles III, you will have seen the crown jewels. Well, at the Tower of London, you can see them up close. They are absolutely fabulous, from the crown of St. Edward used at the moment of the coronation to the imperial state crown, which is what I like to call the king's everyday crown. When he needs to put a crown on his head for certain functions, that's the one he uses, to the swords, the maces, the punch bowl, the silver gilt plate. It's just fabulous. It really is. Just everything in London that you could possibly dream of. And of course, we also have a dinner cruise, a cruise down the River Thames at night, having dinner and seeing London how it should be seen from the River Thames, with all the wonderful buildings lit up. Seriously, London, you know, if you've never been, it is just one of those bucket list places to visit. I know I'm biased, but it's true.
It is. It is. You can never get tired of London. You can never get enough of London. That's for
Not
sure.
at all.
No. And so the photos you will see here, you will notice that we have some of our women on them. That's from previous tours. We just thought that was a nicer way to kind of show you also where you're going and what you are doing. We have built in some free time. We've actually added from our previous tours an extra day in London just for you ladies to get an opportunity to do some more museums, some more shopping, or whatever you like to do. And Julie, we also have an optional theatre evening where we will see a show in London. And that's information that will go out when you book the register for the tour with us. But so many places to shop. We can mention Harrods. We could do, you know, there are so many. Yes, but Fortnum and Mason is what I put on the slide here. From all kinds.
One of my favorite shops.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful shop. World-class museums. I attempt to buy a lot of souvenirs, and too many all the time, at the museum shops. I just love museum shops. Especially I love the V&A, the Victoria and Albert Museum. They have a fabulous shop as well. So if you like to explore more, I would say, Julie, for the Victoria and Albert Museum is a great museum. It's wonderful. It's too big to do in one day, but
Oh, it is. The Victoria and Albert Museum, seriously, one of my favourite museums. Completely free to enter, as are most of our museums and art galleries in London, which is great. The Victoria and Albert Museum, founded in the 1800s by Prince Albert, the husband of Queen Victoria. And it's a museum of the decorative and fine arts. So lots of furniture, lots of silverware. They have a fabulous theatre and performance gallery. And ladies, let me tell you, a jewellery gallery that is to die for. It has jewellery from Elizabeth I to Queen Victoria, and just the most amazing, right up to date. If you want to do a bit of shopping, well, Fortnum and Mason's on Piccadilly, founded in 1707 and still going strong. This is where, ladies, you will buy your tea. Wonderful tins of English tea to take home, or biscuits if you have a bit of a sweet tooth. And just round the corner, my favourite perfumiers in London, Floris, also founded in the 1700s. They supplied perfume to Queen Victoria, to Florence Nightingale, and men's cologne to James Bond. So,
Ooh.
you know, for the man in your life, maybe take him home a present. It's not all for you, ladies, is it?
Exactly.
You know, lots of places to shop. Portobello Road is a wonderful antique market in an area known as Notting Hill. And of course, we have an optional theatre evening. The West End, as we call it, rivals Broadway with so many fabulous shows, from serious plays to Shakespeare to modern plays to, of course, musicals. You know, we have Wicked, we have Mamma Mia, we have the Michael Jackson musical, we have the Tina Turner musical, you name it, we have it. You don't need to go to Broadway. You can come to the West End of London. There is something for everybody. Art galleries as well. The National Gallery of Art, fabulous. Or if you fancy just having a nice stroll somewhere, then you could get a boat ride out to Greenwich, to the east of London, a lovely boat ride down the Thames. Royal Greenwich, the home of the Royal Observatory, home of time itself, and fabulous architecture from the 1600s, also has a great market as well. It's a brilliant place to visit for a day trip. Very easy to do from central London. So, you know, I'm awash with ideas that I could recommend for your leisure time. And of course, almost forgot to tell you, while we're in London, we will be heading out one day slightly to the west to go to Kew Gardens. And that'll be our first major garden that we do on this tour. Kew Gardens, again, fabulous, founded in the 1750s. As a botanical garden by the mother of King George III. The mother of King George III. It also holds in Kew Gardens, as well as over 10,000 different plants. It also houses the smallest royal palace in this country, Kew Palace, which you'd be able to visit as well, which was a little summer retreat for King George III and his wife, Queen Charlotte. And if you're trying to place King George III, because, you know, we've had a lot of kings and queens, let's be fair, he was the one who in the 1700s lost us the USA. Oh, but we don't talk about that.
Fabulous. All right. Well, that's the first part of the journey. And then, Julie, we're going to start traveling west, and getting out in the countryside, going through roads of beautiful forests as well, ancient woodlands. I love the moss on every fence that you see in the UK. It's beautiful. It's different from where I live. So, but Windsor Castle is our first stop when we head out.
Yes.
We're going to see, actually, we've included the doll house as well there. So if anybody's into dolls and doll houses, that's a fantastic place to visit as well. It's inside Windsor Castle.
Yeah, included in your ticket. Windsor Castle, our late Queen Elizabeth II's favourite home. This is where she spent most of her time, particularly in her later years. And this is also where she is buried. So you can go to St George's Chapel inside Windsor Castle and actually see where our late Queen Elizabeth II is buried. You visit the state apartments, which are fabulous, full of wonderful treasures and artworks. And as Anne said, the doll's house. The doll's house, Queen Mary's doll's house. Ladies, if you had a doll's house as a little girl like me, trust me, it's nothing like this one. This one is huge, it's enormous, all in full working order, and it is 100 years old this year, the doll's house. So it's celebrating its centenary. And when I say everything's in working order, if you were tiny enough to use the bathroom in the doll's house, you could turn the taps and the water would come out. 7 clocks in the doll's house, all made by Cartier. I must apologize, my phone is
It's
ringing.
okay, that's what
So
happens when we
apologies
do
for that.
live recordings.
And then once we visited Windsor Castle, and you've had plenty of time there to soak up the royal enjoyment of Windsor Castle, we'll head down through Runnymede, where in 1215 we signed the Magna Carta, which of course is the the backbone essentially of the American Constitution and Bill of Rights. And while we're there, where Magna Carta was signed in 1215, we will also see the John F. Kennedy Memorial. Now, this commemorates a visit to this country by John F. Kennedy himself. And the memorial was unveiled in 1965 by Queen Elizabeth II in the presence of his widow and 2 children. And ladies, what's so special about this, when you step onto the land where the memorial is, you are stepping from Britain into America, because when the memorial was unveiled in 1965, Her Majesty the Queen bequeathed the land to the USA. So you actually step on American soil in England. I mean, how cool is that? Seriously. And then we overnight at the fabulous Burnham Beeches Hotel, which sits in the middle of a wonderful nature reserve and beautiful ancient woodlands going back thousands of years. It really is a fabulous place to end our day at Burnham Beeches.
Lovely. And then, Julie, one of the highlights of many, of course, is our Downton Abbey theme day. So, and I know you are very familiar with
Huge Downton Abbey fan.
Yes, yeah. Who isn't?
Absolutely huge Downton Abbey fan. From the moment it hit our television screens, I watched every episode more than once, seen the film, done the lot. Downton Abbey, yes, we're going to go to the village of Bampton, which stood in for the real life village of Downton Abbey. You will go and visit the church where all the weddings and sadly some of the funerals took place. And of course, if you're very familiar with Downton Abbey, you'll know it's the church where we did have a bit of a jilting at the altar as well. You know, poor Lady Edith, the middle daughter, we always rooted for her. She eventually ended up happy, but not after some trials and tribulations. We'll see the old schoolhouse, which stood in for the cottage the cottage hospital, and also some of the pubs that were frequented during filming, not just by the actors, but during the series as well, stood in for pubs in the series. And I understand, I'm very, very super excited about this. We're going to have a lecture by somebody who actually was behind the scenes of filming and costumes. So a real insider. I mean, that's such a treat. I cannot wait. And then we're also going to go and visit Coggs Manor, Coggs Farm, which stood in for one of the farms in Downton Abbey. And anyone who's familiar with the television series will know that's where Lady Edith's secret daughter, Marigold, was fostered by the farmer and his wife. And we'll be having lunch there and see a proper working farm that was also used for filming. So it really will be a treat.
It is. It's a wonderful day. Yes, absolutely. Oxford, we're spending a day in Oxford. We're also spending a day in Bath, but let's just have a few words about Oxford. I love Oxford as well. It's stunning. I actually added a photo here, Julie, seen it hundreds of times, I'm sure, but just to kind of show you how little has happened in Oxford since 1810 and 2015 this is, but still, I guarantee you, it still looks like this in 2023.
Yeah, it
2024,
absolutely
sorry.
does.
Yes.
Yeah, Oxford doesn't change. I mean, the only difference now is there's no horses in the street, it's all motor cars instead.
Yes.
But, you know, it's one of our university towns, famous across the world as a university town, Oxford. All the Oxford colleges that make up the university, you'll be able to visit some of those. Maybe if you fancy even going to Christ Church, one of the most famous colleges, and see the dining hall at Christ Church College, which stood in for the dining hall of Hogwarts in the Harry Potter films. But, you know, Oxford, as well as colleges and being our seat of education, it's the birthplace of Alice in Wonderland. Lewis Carroll, real name, Charles Lutwidge Dodgson, was a mathematics professor at Oxford, and that's where he wrote Alice in Wonderland. It's also the birthplace of Lord of the Rings. J.R.R. Tolkien, another Oxford professor, wrote Lord of the Rings on the side. And also the birthplace of The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, the Narnia stories. C.S. Lewis was also at Oxford. So, you know, we're talking education, literary and blockbuster movies. But also Oxford is the place where we have the oldest botanic garden in the United Kingdom, founded in 1621. And just a fabulous garden to wander around. I love the Botanic Garden in Oxford. Beautiful greenhouses. I mean, just look at those huge, great lily pads you can see down in the bottom right-hand corner there. They are, and they really do look like that. I was only there back end of last year, and they really look like that. Just a beautiful, beautiful garden to visit in the centre of Oxford. But of course, some free time in Oxford to do a little bit of shopping as well. You know, if you want your Oxford souvenirs, or maybe you want to visit the Alice in Wonderland shop and buy your Alice in Wonderland souvenirs, or take back some Harry Potter souvenirs for the grandchildren, or perhaps yourself, who knows?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. All right. And then Bath. Bath, again, one of my favorite places, cities in the entire England. I love Bath. I think there is an era, there's something in Bath that just kind of, I don't know, it draws you. Just it's one of my thoughts after spots. I just go back and back. I love the small shops, Julie. I love the Bath, of course, the Bath of Bath. Quaint restaurants. It's very picturesque. It's just amazing. It's a beautiful, beautiful town.
Yeah, and Bath is fabulous. Georgian architecture, so architecture from the 1700s, which just looks stunning. A fabulous abbey that you can visit, and Roman remains, with the remains of a Roman bathhouse dating from the sort of 2nd century, which just blows my mind. And yes, shops, independent shops. But for me, Bath is all about tea rooms. Oh, I love my tea. I love my cake. And tea rooms
You
where you can get
do.
a lovely cup of tea and a lovely slice of Victoria sponge. Yep, that's what
Exactly.
Bath's about for me,
It
definitely.
is, Julie. And I have been so lucky to sit actually on this little bridge over the
Oh, the
canal
bridge.
here. Yep. And have tea there. There are small tea rooms there as well. But I mean, I think they seat probably 10 or 12 people, very, very tiny and very small. You can have your tea anywhere in Bath. It's beautiful. Very, very, very nice city. Absolutely.
Gorgeous place. And
It
very
is.
easy to walk around. Yeah,
Yes,
very
very
easy.
safe, very easy. Yes, absolutely. Mhm. Last 2 days,
Yes. I know. What can we say about this? Well, the last few days we'll be heading to Chichester, the old Roman town of Chichester, which has some fabulous independent shops for a little bit of souvenir shopping. Also, a wonderful cathedral, really beautiful open parkland as well. And then Arundel. Arundel Castle. We're visiting Arundel Castle. Again, an 11th century castle in private hands, owned by the Howard family, who are the Dukes of Norfolk. And you will have seen the Duke of Norfolk if you watched the coronation last year, the Duke of Norfolk holds the position of Earl Marshal, which means he's the man who organises coronations. So you will have seen him on the television last year. The castle is amazing. It has the most wonderful garden as well, really fabulous, beautiful roses at Arundel Castle. And then we're going to be visiting Sissinghurst. What can I say about Sissinghurst?
I know.
Again, it's just so beautiful. I went last July. The flowers are amazing, and in the
Summertime is
garden,
beautiful. Yeah.
oh, it's fabulous. Created in the 1930s by the writer Vita Sackville-West. She worked long and hard on creating this fabulous garden, and the garden is divided into different open air rooms. So you kind of have the white room where all the flowers are white. And then you have a Mediterranean room where it's very sandy with lots of Mediterranean plants, reminiscent of ancient Greece and places like that. I mean, it's just a fabulous place, Sissinghurst. It really is wonderful. And we'll be staying in a lovely hotel in Tunbridge Wells, or Royal Tunbridge Wells, to give it its official name, where there are some fabulous shops. Anne has got these pictures up here, which are
Yes,
amazing, of a wonderful quilting shop you found, Anne.
it was amazing. The owner is called Julie, like you, and I ran into it when I was down just inspecting hotels in the area for this tour and coming tours as well. And I see this beautiful, beautiful quilt store. It was amazing. I went inside and wow, is that a gem? Fabrics, beautiful, beautiful fabrics, and you will have time to see that as well. It's just down in the pedestrian area, actually opposite the old well, so it's very easy to find. Next door is Catherine, and Catherine is an amazing artist, and I didn't know her, of course, so I walked in. I was just drawn in by her jewelries. It's a very dark shop, kind of like a little bit mystical, just a different type of shop than you see around any other corner. And she told me that she's actually was the jewelrist who did lots of jewelry and for the Harry Potter movies. I thought that was interesting, and she has them on display. She has her own little workshop in the shop, and she is so kind and so polite. So if anybody's into Harry Potter, you absolutely, it's a must to go and see Catherine's shop here. So that's also down in Tunbridge Well, where we're staying overnight for the last 2 nights. So you'll have opportunity to visit and walk around.
Yeah, and Tunbridge Wells is a lovely place. I mean, the town itself, it's an old spa town, so it does still have its well for its spa water. But in the 1800s, it was a fashionable resort town, to the extent that Queen Victoria actually stayed there as well. So, you know, you're following in the footsteps of Queen Victoria. I don't think she visited the Harry Potter jewelry shop, though. But, you
Probably
know.
not. Yes, thank you, Julie. And then we are at the end of the trip. So we're flying back from London. We'll transfer. We have an early afternoon again flight, so we can have our breakfast in the morning and then drive to Heathrow to fly back. This time on the return, we go through Chicago, 1 stop, and we're getting back to Omaha in the evening. If you have a different place, a different hometown, we'll assist with that as well. But you will be back on the same day to the United States as you are leaving the United Kingdom. I'll just go over, Julie, a few facts about the trip. Of course, there is a price to attend this wonderful 12-day tour. The shared double room rate for the land is $5,4995. We have single rooms available as well at $1,000 extra as a supplement. But we also offer our pair and share service, which is very popular. If you wish to share a room with someone else, you just let us know. And so far we have around 30% of our solo travelers are actually sharing a room. It's a very popular service that we offer, and we'll make sure that you meet each other before you leave for England. It's not that you meet each other at the airport. We'll make sure that you meet and you agree to share a room before we even take off. We have an airfare, a very good price with American Airlines, $11.95 for economy class, including taxes and fees. If you'd like to upgrade yourself, there is an opportunity to do that as well. We will help you with that. We have a wonderful lady, Lisette, with us, who is dealing with all the air that we do for all the groups. She will get in contact with you. So there's a possibility for upgrading yourself as well, if you like that. And then included in our price, of course, are all the nights over in England, in the United Kingdom. We have meals. We have 18 meals, 9 breakfasts, 4 lunches, a dinner, and a secret tasting. Not going to share with you what that is yet, but it's very nice. It's a fun one. All the services of transportation, the sites that you're seeing. We have Julie included too. Thank goodness for that. And then you have a Midwest ambassador with you, traveling with alongside, and all the local taxes. We will take off with a minimum of 15. We're getting close to that, and a maximum of 22 travelers in total. And as I've mentioned before, we are happy to assist with airfare from any cities in the United States. What is not included is travel insurance. We highly recommend that. Our team, when you sign up for the tour, will explain everything about that to you. Personal expenses, of course, and meals outside the program. And if you wish to go and visit a museum or an art gallery, many museums, as Julie mentioned, are free in London. So there is no cost to visiting them, which is a great benefit. Gratuities are approximately, you should estimate $15 per person per day. And then we have a professional fee of $75 for the office and everything that we do for you, upgrading your documents, putting everything together. There is a deposit of $575, including the professional fee when you sign up, and the balance is due by the end of March. If you happen to sign up later, we do take registrations, of course, until a later point in time. But this is what we have at the moment where we are recording this little presentation. We will hand out documents 3 weeks prior to the departure, and we do that live as well. So we do a Zoom meeting where we all meet. It's been very successful. We walk you through every single page of your travel documents. We'll talk about currency, drinking tap water, anything you can think about included in the documents. How do you use electricity? Do you need an adapter and a converter? Yes, you do. We'll go over all that when we hand out the documents approximately 3 weeks prior to the departure. The weather should be wonderful. It says May and August. That's a little incorrect. It's this one is July, but okay. The temperatures are 60 to 75. I would say it's a wonderful time of the year to travel in the UK. Hopefully not too much rain, Julie. We'll try. Can never tell. And then we have the currency, which we'll go over that as well. I just thought I would put it on here. In England, it's the British pounds, and $1 is approximately 80 cents of British pounds. So it's not 1-to-1, but a 20% difference approximately. Dress code, Julie, casual, layers.
Yeah.
For a rainy day,
Yep.
maybe for a little cloudy day, for a little windy day, but it's summertime. So hopefully we will have great weather.
I always recommend packing an umbrella or a rain jacket because, you know, this is England. We do get rain, hopefully not. But, you know, this is why we're so green and why our gardens look so stunning.
Exactly. It's a wonderful time of the year to travel to England. I think we are at the end. Your travel ambassador on this one, your Women of the Midwest ambassador, is Laura Black. Laura has hosted, my goodness, I think more than 20 tours with us. She is very big in gardening. She has a beautiful garden in Lincoln, Nebraska, and she will be with you. She's traveling. Laura is traveling from and to Omaha. So if you are an Omaha airport traveler, you will meet Laura there. Otherwise, you will connect with Laura, most probably in Charlotte on the way out, and travel back with Laura to Chicago, and then split and go back to your own hometown airport on the return. Julie, thank you very, very much for being with us.
Pleasure.
If anybody needs more information, we have the information here on the last sheet. You can call us anytime, reach out via email, or go online on our website. order a tour brochure or register for the tour. It's I think I will say England is one of my favorite countries. Um, Especially this time of year, we do a few walking tours as well in the Cotswold, in an area that we're getting very close to. We're actually in the southern part of the Cotswold, I believe, on this tour. It's a fairy tale. It really truly is. We cannot get a better tour guide to travel with you than Julie. It's absolutely a pleasure, Julie. We've done several tours together.
Mm,
You're
we
always
have.
so willing and just so helpful. Um, if anybody has any questions, feel free to email them to us. We'll have Julie
Yep,
assist us if I cannot
of
answer
course.
them. But Julie, thank you. We can't wait to tour with you again.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this tour. I love a castle, I love a garden, and wherever I go, there's always a cup of tea and a bit of cake. So trust me, ladies, you know, you're going to have a fabulous time on this. I really think so. And I'd love to meet you. And, you know, I look after you while you're here. I'll be with you from meeting you at Heathrow Airport as you arrive to dropping you back